Nigeria today is not a democratic country. Let's stop telling ourselves lies. If you look at all the tenets, look at all the yardstick of measuring democracy, it doesn't exist here. Simple definition, democracy is government of the people, by the people, for the people. Today, the government we have is not of the people. It's not by the people because the people didn't vote. It wasn't their votes. I'm not just talking about presidency. Across the line, look at what happened in Edo. Can you call that democracy? It's not vote of the people. And it's not for the people. I've just told you that I went to an IDP camp where we have thousands of people, no primary health care. They were begging me to have one nurse, which I said I must make sure I bring. They don't even have primary school, which again I told them I will make sure it happens. So what are you doing for a country that just spent 21 billion naira to renovate a house for the vice president, which is not, hasn't packed in, is not living there. And you cannot even have a primary school for kids who are going to be leaders of Nigeria tomorrow. For people who pass through the same process, tonight deny these kids this opportunity today. So it is not a democratic country. So it's not for the people. You can't have a democracy without a functional and effective legislature, which you know we don't have today. You can't have a democracy without, again, an independent judiciary that fights for the common person. I can go on and on. In a democracy, it is clear. There's guidelines. Even when you set for people vying for election, like in Nigerian case, you have to talk about people must be qualified. They must have primary school, secondary school, university, and must attain certain age. Charles, that is not happening today. People are with unverified, forged certificates all over the place, criminal records and everything, and they're in charge. So you cannot say that. It is, yes, maybe we're striving to be a democratic country, but the way we are today is not. Look at what happened in Rivers that you mentioned. Can you call that democracy?
I'm going to come to Rivers State.
Yes.
All right. So Peter Obi was interviewed on Arise TV this morning, where he said a lot of things about the state of the nation. And he also talked about the president of Nigeria, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Meanwhile, in one of his speeches, he also said that it is very clear that Nigeria is not a democratic country. And then when I watched this, I just smiled. I say, Peter Obi, now today you know, say Nigeria is not a democratic country. Now today you know. Well, the truth is that so many believe that, you know, having Peter Obi as the president, that he's going to fix Nigeria. Nigeria is going to be like America, that things is going to begin to work. But the truth is that what I'm about to say may not go well with some people, but that is the truth. Yes, in this channel, it doesn't matter. What I stand for here is the truth. The truth is that 100 P2Bs cannot fix Nigeria. 1 million P2Bs cannot fix Nigeria. Oh yes. Oh yes. Now listen. If you want to fix any problem, you go to the grassroots of that problem. Nigerian problem today is not the leadership we have now. Nigerian problem today is the grassroots of the leadership. Some of you may not understand. You don't even know that some of our leaders don't do their will. They do the will of their masters. Oh yes. So if you want to sort the issue of Nigeria, let us go back. Let us rewind back to, first of all, 1914. You know what happened in 1914 in Nigeria? The amalgamation. After that, then, of course, that might probably solve it. But then we still go back to 1960, independence. You are giving independence of a nation. Who agreed for it to be a nation? Who and who agreed? Where was it signed? Who and who signed it? Of course, the amalgamation that happened in 1940, amalgamation of the northern and southern part that happened. Who and who stand for it? So these are the roots, these are the basis. Because as it stands, Nigeria is not one. And anything that the Bible said that two cannot work until they agree. You don't get it. It is not working. We are not agreeing. The north will say another thing, the west will say another thing, the east will say another thing. So how do you want it to work? So 1,000 P2Bs will not solve Nigeria's problem or will not even make Nigeria better. Oh yes, it is not even by the youth ranting. It is not social media ranting that will make Nigeria better. It is not protest. Now I heard they are preparing for another protest. It is not by that. The best way to solve Nigerian problem is to go back to the roots. But if they don't want to go back to the roots, the best way, I guess, again, they should do is to just to disintegrate. Oh yes, that is my option, and I think and I believe that is the best way Nigerian solution will be solved. 2027, you know, P2B is campaigning. I heard him in one of his speech. He said 2027 is not going to be like 2023, that he was ripped of his elections and all that. My brother, 2027, whether you enter, I mean, you know, enter, even if you enter, you would like to do the will of the masters. Oh yes, because anyway, you see, some of us don't understand. So please, let's take a little time and watch what P2B said in his interview this morning. Anyway, just watch it. Then you drop your comment on the comment section what you think about it, all right? Please.
Can do it.
Well, the argument is that even if you win in 2027, you'll be forced or prevailed upon to hand over to the North after just one term in 2031, which will not be enough for you to fulfill these electoral, let me just make the point, these electoral promises. Whereas if you worked with a one-term northern presidency in 2027, you'd be more likely to scale through in 2031, assuming the North keeps to the agreement. Does that sound like a reasonable proposal to you? Because you mentioned Yaradua, who came into office. He had to come into office before he started trying to change things.
Charles, the president that is there today, how many years has he stayed? 2 years. And you could see where we are. Look at the turn of things in 2 years. That means that you can change things in 2 years. If I was there in 2 years, Charles, that you would have seen considerable change. In critical areas, I would have tackled corruption head on. I would have reduced cost of governance. And you will see it. People will feel it. And those monies invested in critical areas. Our primary health care today, I told you, 70% are not functional. And we spent over 35 billion in conference center. Which conference? Who is coming for the conference? You need to invest your money properly. Just you have been seeing borrowed money invested in critical area. We, a country in Bangladesh with 148,000 square kilometers of land, is producing about 60 million metric tons of rice. And us, with over 6 times that size of land, cannot do 10% of that. Charles, there's room here. You talked about devaluation of Naira. There's nothing wrong in devaluation. I would have done something. I would have allowed the Naira to float. But I would have done it in an organized manner. There will be productivity. The idea of devaluing your currency, allowing it to float, to be cheaper, is that you have productivity so you can export, so people can come and buy. But when you don't have productivity and you devalue your currency, it's double whammy because you have nothing to sell. So I would have injected money in productivity. Today, Nobody is producing anything. Somebody told me a few days ago, said, oh, they've removed there's no more tax or this or some of the manufacturing inputs and everything and all. I said, that's no. How can you manufacture? How can you do business when your interest rate is over 40%? One of the biggest costs of manufacturing today, cost of production today, is interest rate. Just nobody borrows money at over 40% to do a business that is straight. You can only borrow it. It's only government that is borrowing that amount of money at that cost. So you need to do the right things, and you can do it.
So what would be the thrust of your attack then on President Tinubu in 2027 that might tip the balance in your favor? I mean, you've talked about, the economy, you've talked about democracy, the rule of law, which you say suffered a setback. Given all that, what would be your strategy to erode confidence in the president and convince the Nigerian people to go with you rather than him?
It is not enough that your aides are running around. You, who is the main person, have to have an idea, be competent, have the capacity, have the compassion, the energy to do the job. It is not something you can lease out. Governance, leadership, is not something you can just hire somebody else to do for you. You are the leader. You should be the one answerable to the people, doing the right things. You're the chief person, and you should be in charge. We have too much of delegated responsibility here. That shouldn't be.
Very briefly, because we're fast running out of time, we've got less than 5 minutes now. Are you going to stick with the Labour Party, given the disarray that's in the party?
The disarray is caused by government.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter who caused
No, that's what I'm telling you. Yes.
Are you going to stick
I'm in
with
Labour Party. I'm in Labour Party.
And are you going to stick with the Labour?
Well, I'm there because I'm there. It's not something I can tell you now. I'm there today. And as time go on, Charles, if it changes, I'll tell you. But I'm a member of Labour Party. And these are one of the things I said I will do. I will make sure that parties work. I will protect democracy and make it work.
Some would say Labour Party isn't working under you.
No, it has nothing to do under me. I'm not the one running the party. Charles, I've been involved in all this. If government today is democratic and they want democracy to thrive, all these things will work.
Right.
Put me anywhere.
So you can only make the change if you're president.
I've told you, Charles, I saw this we had a problem under Yaradua, for example, in my party. He told it in front of me, told the INEC chief, I don't want all these party issues in front of me. I want it to happen, but I don't want all this. So you have to say you're democratic, practice it, believe in it, whether it favors you or not. Because that's what you want. You want to build a better, decent society that is organized.
Right. Okay. We've got a couple of minutes left before we have to go, which is rather sad because I'm enjoying talking with you. Before we go, after what's been clearly a rather depressing discussion about the future of Nigeria, cheer us up with one thing that could make this country look better to the world.
Well, Charles, I wish I can tell you. The only thing I can tell you is that it is what is happening can be turned around with a competent leader that has the capacity and compassion to serve. Because we have low-hanging fruits. There's nothing in following the rule of law. There's nothing in ensuring orderliness. There's nothing in fighting corruption. People say it's difficult. It is not. If you are not involved, you reduce it by 50%. There's nothing in investing in critical areas of development. We're borrowing money, every left, right, and center. Invest that money properly. Tell Nigerians, come out, Charles, leaders come out every day and address their people. I will make sure I address Nigerians at least once every month and tell them what is happening. They want to know. I want to visit universities and tell them what is happening. I want to tour the states and see for myself what is happening. That's what it should be. We can change it. It's happened before.
On that note, I want to thank you very much indeed, and we really appreciate the time you've taken to come and talk to us. Mr. Peter Obi is the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, or was the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Charles.
That's it for this edition of our...
All right. So you have seen it. Just quite funny. What do you think? You can drop your comment on the comment section what you think about it. All right. Thank you very much. I'll see you in my next video. God bless you.